Hey guys, it's my first video on YouTube. This video is going to be about changing the fuel filter on a 2017 Ram 2500 with a diesel engine, Cummings engine. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos. And let's hop to it. Fuel filter is located, it's going to be the easiest way to get to it. It's going to be on the driver's side, right where the battery is. You got the reservoir right there. On my left, to the left of the reservoir, there's going to be this little module thing, box thingamajiggy, and if you're going to go right next to the reservoir, you're going to go deep in there. It's not too deep, you can get your hand there. It's kind of a quite tight squeeze in there. Filter right there, and you're going to have that release valve. So the fuel filter is located, it's going to be the easiest way to get to it. It's going to be on the driver's side, right where the battery is. You got the reservoir right there, and right, you can say on my left, to the left of the reservoir, there's going to be this little module thing, box thingamajiggy. And if you're going to go right next to the reservoir, you're going to go deep in there, and it's not too deep, you can get your hand there. It's kind of a quite tight squeeze in there, but you're going to have the filter right there, and you're going to have that release valve to release any extra or any diesel fluid in there. And there's going to be a little, if you can see, there's a little tube right underneath that yellow knob. There's a little conduit that goes down to release the extra diesel fluid. So we're going to get underneath the truck, and I'm going to show you the conduit that you bleed the diesel fluid by turning the yellow knob. When you turn it, it's going to come out straight out of that conduit right there. So here we are. I put like a Poland Spring water bottle, like an empty water bottle. I stuck the tube, the conduit, into the water bottle, and I just kind of leaned it in place, put it in place so it holds there by itself while I go back up there and release the pressure from the filter. So we're going to turn this to the left to release. And there it goes. It's all coming from that conduit. Came out to be almost a full bottle of diesel fluid that came out of the reservoir. So we're going to go ahead and close this back up. I'm going to turn it to the right. It's only about a quarter twist. Make sure it's tight. Don't put too much pressure on it, but as long as it's nice and snug. So we're gonna go ahead and open that cap to get the filter out. The filter's inside, and we're gonna use this socket. It's size 30. I think it should be maybe one size smaller. It should be probably like a 29, but I don't have a 29. All I have is a 30. Got a couple extenders here. Got like one of these little thingamajiggies here. It'll be very convenient. And it seems like the best way to get in is between this black box thing. Kind of squeeze it in here and find its way through, and pretty much just put it in place. And there you go. It's all in place, and we'll put the wrench in here. From what I was told, it's going to be a pretty tight open. So I had the smaller extension, and I did not like the way that was going. So I decided to switch over to the 1/2-inch drive impact extension set, and so here we go. I put one of these little thingies more at the end. And I'm also switching the wrench to this big guy. The smaller one wasn't giving me enough strength to do it. So, enough leverage to do it. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and place this in. I'm going to place this in so it sits there nice and smooth. It doesn't really want to, but I have to put a connection. Instead of going to the side here, like I said earlier, I'm going to go ahead and sneak it in, right in through here, right behind this module thing. Let's see where we got it here. Okay, there we go. I'll get that wrench in there for bigger, more leverage. It's making that real tight noise. It's probably a rubber O-ring or something in there. You need to put some muscle in it in order for it to unscrew. But after a few turns, it's going to start coming a little easier. There we go. Now I can go ahead and switch over to a smaller wrench. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to a smaller wrench, easier to twist. There we go. We got the adapter from the smaller to the 1/2 inch drive. I'm gonna put it in here. Hopefully it'll go down. Yep, there we go. There we go. Okay, so that's all loose. I'm gonna go ahead and disattach for a better, easier removal. I'm gonna set it right above here. And let's go ahead and take that cap off. Pandora's box. There we go. Oh, there it goes. That's how it looks inside. I put a pan underneath the truck. If there's any diesel fluid that's going to come out, or any leakage or anything like that, that way I don't get it all over the floor. Less cleanup work. Just get this old rag over here. Go ahead and reach over for it. It's a nice snug in there. So we're gonna pull it out. Yep, there's definitely extra diesel fluid in there. You might want to hold it in there for a second or two, let it drain into that tub or that reservoir where the filter sits. That way, as you're bringing it out through the tight, narrow space, you're not dripping it all over the engine. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it is dripping. There we go. Alright, let's bring it out. I guess that's how, I don't know if it's how you can tell if it's dirty or not, but they recommend to change it every 12,000 miles. And so that's what we're gonna do, and here's the new one. And this is all plasticed up and got packaging on it. Looks pretty much identical, except this one's all in diesel fluid and this one's not. So we're gonna go ahead and open this one up. Oh, it gives me some extra O-rings here. Let's see. Try to read the manual before you do anything. See where everything goes. That way you put it back in place the way it's supposed to be. Once the cap is removed, you got to remove the O-ring, the old O-ring, rubber O-ring. We're gonna have to remove it, put a new one back in, and shows here that we have to lubricate it. Says use some indicator of potential fuel in the system problem. So we have to lubricate it with some diesel fuel. That way it's moist, and then before we put everything back together. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so we're gonna take this O-ring that's sitting, I don't know if you can see it or not, but I'm gonna remove it. Make sure this, all of it is clean. Area where the O-ring sits. You don't want any dirt in there or anything like that, otherwise you might have leaking if it doesn't seal properly. And we're gonna take a look and see if the wall's got any debris on it. The instructions were saying if there's any grass, metal, any kind of debris that might be on the walls, any cracking going on. I can't see this front part of it, but at least I can I can see there's no cracking on the outside. It's a pretty new truck. I mean, I don't think it's gonna have too much going on. I'm gonna put this back on. Make sure it sits in the proper spot in the channel or the groove that's around that top area. Make sure it's nice and tight in there. That way when you put the cap back on, it sits, it goes right up to the cap and everything's solidly tight. Alright. So after reading the instructions were saying that we don't have to wet this, we don't have to prime this, we didn't have to do any of that sort of stuff. So basically, as you take out the package, it's ready to be put inside that reservoir. So as the instruction calls for it, just go ahead and place it in. Just gonna push it in there. Make sure it goes down all the way. It reaches the bottom and sits tight on the bottom. So we're gonna go ahead and easily ease down with the cap. We're gonna put it down. We're gonna start screwing it on with our hands. That way we don't have any we don't put in the wrong side threads or anything like that. Now we can put it in the right way with our hands so it sits in exactly where we want it. And then we'll use the wrench to go ahead and tighten it. So I'll do whatever, as much as I can with my hand. Put the wrench in there. So, let me put the wrench in, and we're going to go ahead and tighten it. We're gonna twist this clockwise, so basically this way to the right, because the opposite direction is to unscrew it. So make sure everything's tight. Okay, make sure it's tight. There we go. And that's it. There's your front filter.